Welcome to The Ticket, the podcast where customer support leaders share insights on the future of customer service, support, and customer experience. I'm your host, Bobby Stapleton, Senior Director of Human Support here at Intercom. Today, we're joined by Margarita Wilshire, Director of Customer Support at Vanta. Margarita brings a wealth of experience, having led support teams at Alteryx, IBM, and Sprint, and now driving customer success at Vanta. In this episode, we'll explore how Vanta is shaping the customer experience landscape, evolving the role of AI in customer support, and what the future holds for support teams. Margarita, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for having me.
I know we were just saying this, but yeah, it's so great to have you on the podcast here at Intercom. You and we meet monthly, talking all things CS, and hopefully this is some helpful and interesting insights for all the listeners.
Yes, I hope so too.
So yeah, can you give us an overview of your role at Vanta and how your team approaches customer support?
Yes. So I lead a global support team here at Vanta. So that includes for us answering questions about technical, compliance, and best practices, as well as customer education. So yeah, the way that we approach customer support here is to give the customer a more comprehensive support, so which includes supporting them throughout the customer journey. So that means when the customer is onboarding into Vanta, so we have a robust set of resources that come from our customer education team. So it includes not only help center articles, but also Vanta Academy, ILT or instructor-led training. So we set them up for success so they can hit the ground running with Vanta and support them throughout their journey. And then later, so we have human support. We also now have AI support. Yes, and also once we are going through that help that they need, then we take all those learnings and do some cross-functional work with our engineering and products and design teams so we can impact the product. So we don't have those questions to begin with, so it's easier for the customers every time they come next time, so it's easier for them. So we kind of close the loop on all the entire, customer journey and how we support them each step of the way.
That's awesome. I'm really hearing that blend of technical customer support, but also customer success, that product adoption, getting the usage. I feel like y'all are really, really on the cutting edge again of like what a modern day support team is doing. So that's awesome. Vanta's like a pretty technical product, right? Like you're selling like a security focused product. Like, does that add any spice or flavor to your support offering?
Absolutely, yes. So in my previous experiences, we were like 100% technical. So when it comes to supporting our Vanta customers, we also have a different or an additional flavor to it, which is compliance and best practices. So with that said, we have, amazing team members that they are at this, what I thought at first would be a very difficult blend to find, but we found them. So they are technical, but also they understand the compliance world, and each customer is very different. So they are able to answer those questions depending on the customer, situation. So our support is, a lot technical, but also there's that blend that we can provide. And as I mentioned, also customer education comes into play because customer education, as I say, is very important for the customers to understand how Banta works. So when they hit the ground, it can be running. And then, yeah, so it's just like a very different type of support that I used to, do in the past.
So customer experience is at the heart of great support. Like, tell me, how does Vanta define and measure a great customer experience? What are some of the guiding principles that you and the team use to shape that?
Yes. So at its core, we really want to unblock our customers to be successfully, during their security and compliance journey. So, and also for them to realize the value of Banta. So with that said, we had a really fun exercise within the team where each of us listed 3 words that we thought or we wanted our customers to know us by. So that's really how we want to come across for our customers. So we divided those responses in like 3 buckets. So we were very aligned, and I think that what describes how we see or how we want to provide our customer with a great experience. So the first bucket is more all about engagement. So we want to be friendly, we want to be caring, responsive, and helpful and resourceful. And the customer experience, we want to be just like Vanta is. We want to be trustworthy. And also there's the third bucket, the third component that really goes well with our team. We want to be educators. We want to be known as being knowledgeable. We want to be also very comprehensive on the information that we provide and to be accurate. So yeah, so in general, so how we want to provide our support experience to our customers is just being, engaging with them in a really, responsive way. We want to be fast. We also want to be caring, and we also want to be knowledgeable. So that's kind of how we want our experience to go. And then you were asking about how we measured, so one thing that I want to say is that we publish our customer metrics, and they are in our site vanta.com support status. So then you can see there how we measure success, or how we measure our customer experience, so these our customers can see it. CSAT, of course, is the main metric, and so CSAT is there. There's also our response time for tickets in our chat, because we also offer chat response. I was just looking at our metrics page before joining here. So for our last 90 days, because it's a blocks of 90 days. So for our CSAT, we had for the last 90 days, 96.5%. For the ticket median response is 47 minutes. And for the chat is being 35 seconds for live chat. Yeah, so that's really great. The reason we publish our metrics is because we want to build that trust, just align with Vanta principles, and we want to build that trust with our customers, so they see. And if sometimes the numbers are not great, they will be there too. So yes, and our CSAT so that's for the 90 last 90 days. But for our last month, February, because we were just working on a MBR, our monthly business review, was 97%. So we have, so that's how we measure, the customer experience is through that CSAT. But as we know, the customers also take that opportunity to give us feedback about the product. And then also that is included in that 97%. We also use IQS, which is the internal quality score. This is peer reviews. So the peer reviews, we love those because it works in a couple of ways, not only for the person doing the review, but also for the person that is receiving the review. We both learn. And that also goes more into, reviewing each other and saying, hey, is the solution good? Is the tone that we are using good? Are we attaching any article that could help the customer? So there's some different criteria there. And our goal for that number is to be 80%. And for February, we were at 98%.
Oh, right.
Mhm. Yes.
Well, that's so cool, and I love that you guys have those publicly available. Like you said, it falls back to that like guiding principle of trustworthiness. It's probably also a really good marketing tool for your sales team to point to, like, hey, if you go with Vanta, look at this great support you're gonna get. So yeah, we should in our next chat be interested to learn how you set that up. So maybe we can copy and do something the same.
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, let's change topics. Let's talk AI. So, AI is transforming support. I would love to hear, how are you using AI to improve the overall experience for your customers?
Yes. So AI is definitely transforming the world of support. So AI for us we are leveraging AI to enhance the support that we provide to our customers, but also it is enhancing our team's effectiveness and experience, right? So yeah, so there's a couple of things. So we are using Fin AI in a couple of places. So we are using that in our chatbot, and we are also using that in our inbox or on the queue. So the impact on our customer experience is that now they are getting immediate responses, and they are getting thoughtful responses, and either is an answer or is first or second step of troubleshooting. And that translates into whenever this gets escalated to the human support, because we also it's important for us to make it really easy for our customers to say a person. So then once that gets escalated to our human team, So then we can hit the ground running because we have that information that a customer provided and maybe a little bit more information for troubleshooting. So another cool thing about AI is that AI is hard at work 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, 365 days for the year. So, and also they are multi-language. As a Spanish speaker, I do appreciate, right? So whenever there's, multi-language support, so that's how it helps not only the customer with their customer experience, but also, the team. So that's one way that we're using AI. Another one is also helping the team to be more effective. So things that they will be spending time, like for instance, one of those also with Thing is like categorize our tickets, right? So before we are like click, 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 drop down, what would be the best category here? So Vin is doing that for us. So that's freeing us for doing more, other things like more complex tickets and things like that. So then also we are doing an AI summary. So after every ticket is solved, so it creates an AI summary for the ticket. Instead of us before, it's like, well, when you close your ticket, just make sure that you type your your summary for the ticket. Now AI can do that and does it really well. So a couple of ways that we are utilizing this AI summary is also for ticket analysis. So at the end of the month, we're saying, okay, I would like to see all the AI summaries by product area to understand where our customers needed us the most, or what are the things that we can provide to the engineering team and saying, hey, it looks like this one task is coming up. Too often, what can we do in the product so we can make it easier for the customer so it's not a problem anymore? So that also is impacting the customer experience. We are also been tinkering with AI sentiment analysis because the cool thing about sentiment analysis is that it allows you to make changes and turn the experience around before the ticket is solved. So because CSAT is a lagging indicator, so when CSAT happens, it's done. So with this, we will be able to just change that experience. So we are still tinkering with that sentiment analysis at the moment. So those are the ways that we are leveraging AI today, and we know that we are just scratching the surface.
Well, and that's such a good blend of the customer-facing experience and improvements, and then the teammate inside the inbox, inside the help desk improvements, freeing people up to go do that more, like, insightful and fun work. So, off topic, like, how did your team respond to it? Were they excited to start using these features? Were they a little scared at first? Like, what was that process like?
Yes. So, well, we are very, very busy. When we say help is in the way, so then everyone was very happy. And also, one thing that we will be implementing in the near future is the Theme Copilot. So it's like, well, we cannot wait to have that available. So the team is actually very excited because also our tickets are getting more complex because of AI helping us, and that is freeing them their time for them to upskill and just, work and have more time to dig deeper into each of the issues. It's also good for the team because they are growing their skill set.
That's awesome. Unrelated, remind me to tell you about the help desk language translation. It does it automatically. It's super cool.
Okay.
How do you ensure AI is used in a way that still feels personal and aligns with your brand's experience, and also matching that idea of trust that's so important to the brand and important to the team?
Yes. So to begin with, so we use Vanta's mascot. Her name is Elma and is a llama. And llamas are known for being protectors. So in this case, our llama, Ilma, is very tough in protecting data. So then whenever our customers are messaging us through the chatbot or emailing us and getting a response from our powered, AI, ask Ilma is what they see. Yeah, so how we ensure that they feels personal? Well, there's a couple of things. So number one is very easy to ask for a person. So either through the chatbot or either through the email, you just say person and it will just quickly go into our human support. So as I mentioned earlier, if the time window is within our chat, we've been very consistent about getting to the chats under 35 seconds. So it's really fast. So another way that we're doing this is we check, after a question is deflected or answered by by Ask Ilma. So we look at the information and we create snippets that can be used by Ask Ilma again. And we make sure that our tone of voice is being included there too. We also use a lot of QA. We do a lot of QA of our, the questions that are being answered by Ilma to ensure that, are they being answered correctly? So then the customers know that sometimes they will hear back, hey, looks like Ask Ilma answered your question correct. Do you need anything else? Or just making sure that that's happening. So then we also create the knowledge-based articles, right? So that what Ask Ilma will reference every time that is providing an answer. So we make sure that also that it has, pertinent information so it can be as helpful as possible.
That's really cool. And like, how did you decide which tickets to do the QA on and which ones to do the follow up on? I imagine there's a lot, right?
Yeah, so I gotta say, because we are relatively new to the thin email, right now we're doing pretty much all of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes. Yes, we are. So those are the customer didn't confirm, like, yes, this was solved. So we are going through them. So that is a decision that we're going to make in the near future as to, which ones we're going to QA.
Awesome. Great change advice. And yeah, selfish plug. It's like so cool that even in that last answer, hearing all of the different ways that you're using Fin, that you're using knowledge, having that full cycle come together. And yeah, like you guys like are relatively new customers. So that's yeah, it's just so cool to hear. You guys are pros at this point. I'm glad we have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
So Vanta is this like crazy fast growing successful company. And often, with fast growing companies, they struggle to maintain a high standard of support while they're scaling. So how do you ensure that growth doesn't come at the cost of a great customer experience?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say scaling support really is something that is top of mind for any support leader. Yes. So, and I would say it's never too early to start thinking about how to scale your support team. And scaling is not only about the size of your team, but it's also about the skill set. So you think about your product won't remain the same, throughout. So especially in a fast environment like Vanta, we know that our customer from the very beginning, like, oh, it's growing, our platform is growing complexity. So we need to definitely, hire for the future, not only for today, right? So I would say what is very important is to have a strategy. That's something that helped me quite a bit. So from the very beginning, establish a strategy that will cover your bases. Like for us here at Vanta, the support strategy has 4 pillars. So one is customer excellence, employee excellence, then operations excellence, and modernized support. So yeah, so coming into Intercom was part of our strategy of modernizing our tool stack, right? So it's like, how do we modernize the support that we provide? So in that strategy will evolve as our customers, the market, and our product evolves. So then something that's very important, to make the customer experience a good experience is also focusing on our employee experience. Like with any, good recipe, you start with great ingredients, right? The same with a team, you have to start with a great team, a team that sees support as their, career, as something that they want to stay and want to continue growing. So, and also they have those skills that you need for the today, but also for the tomorrow. That because as we were discussing, the tickets get more and more complex. So there will be things that, for instance, with AI, that when you are measuring success, so probably the average handle time will get higher. So instead of, yeah, because it's more complex. So you start with also the employee experience is important, but spending the time to first very intentional with your hiring. Also, you need to have a good support system for your team members so they upskill and they are in a continuing education. But also it's important to upskill your leaders within support. Yes, because the leadership team also needs to continue growing. How can they turn, their team members into productive members, right? So that's part also of the scaling. So when you're scaling without sacrificing the customer experiences, you are thinking about, how can my team members, be more productive? What can I do as a leader to provide them with those tools? And, AI is one of those things that we're providing our team to be more productive. So then also we are looking at how can we impact the product, right? So then how can we be the voice of the customer? So that's also important. And then operation excellence is also super important because you are spending time here, spending time there. So like creating so much friction, and that can also impact the customer experience. So all those things combined and modernizing support, always checking what is new, what is out there. And another thing that is important is also the things that you have established for them not to break down. So that's a conversation that we have with the leadership team a little ago, is that, we tend to go after the shiny objects, the new things. But there are some things that are established from the very beginning that start breaking down because you are diverting your attention to something new. So you can do both things, right? You can still go for the new things, but also you need to have dedicated time for the things that are established to continue working so they don't break down. Like your onboarding process, like your continuing education. We have something called Vanta Support University. It's always, running. Is that it's going to be something interesting and helpful every other week and things like that. So another thing that I was thinking of is just the feedback loop is also important, right? So how do we know that I'm still providing a good customer experience as I'm scaling if I don't look at what my customers are saying about our, support? So we here at Vanta, we take the CSAT very seriously. Our CSAT, the CSAT, the customer satisfaction survey results very seriously. So we do get comments from our customers when things are not going well and when things are going well. So we have actually a CSAT committee within support that is made up of team members, especially those team members, because here in Banta, any team member can participate in any, project. So we say, okay, who would like to be our, CSAT committee? So we have a committee and they review every single CSAT that has a comment for, let's say if it's a negative comment saying, hey, that's something I didn't like. So number one is to acknowledge the message from the customer. This is not going into a black box. So we review, either we need to take an action, say, hey, this hasn't been resolved yet. So we go and make it right for the customer. But it's something that, I didn't like how it went and it's done. So we also made sure the customer knows that we address that concern, that won't happen again. And we have, share with that team member how to do better coaching experience. So this committee meets on a weekly basis. They do reply to the customer to every single message they send. They meet on a weekly basis, come up with trends on, for the bad CSATs, from the good CSATs, and then they share that in something we call the CSAT corner on our bi-weekly team meetings. They say, like, we had one earlier today, and they say, these are the ones that we had for bad, these are the ones that we had for good. Like, for instance, for February, so what they were saying is that they really appreciated our problem solving, our responsiveness and our expertise. So those are the things that came up as themes for February. So every month we have like, oh, these are the things that we did good, and just, looking for improving the things that we were working on. So yes, in terms of metrics, so I was mentioning for us, right? So we are publishing our metrics and they include the CSAT is our lagging indicator, and then some leading indicators like first reply time for our tickets and also for chat. But there's also other metrics that we are looking into that relates to customer education. We are hosting a lot of our knowledge in our help center that is available for anyone really, in our help center is open. And so we tried to have our missed searches to be a low number, meaning that we make sure that our customers find what they're looking for, right? So right now, for February, our missed searches have been 3%, which is really good. And we've been very consistent to be 5 and under for the past year. Also, we do live training and for live training also at our Vanta Academy, and we have CSAT for our live training. So we had for the very consistent, but for the past month, it's been 9 out of 10.
And is it the human support team that's helping make the knowledge content and running the live trainings, or is that like a different team that you're working with at Vanta? What's that like?
Yes. So customer education is part of support. And so we have at the moment 2 team members that are amazing. They are professionals, customer educators. So they create the content, they have created like a wealth of Vanta Academy courses. They also own the help center and create most of the knowledge base articles that are there, and also do the training, the live training. Yes.
That's really cool. I like that they're part of your team, so you can have that full bird's eye view of customer experience, customer needs. Again, these blurred lines between support, education, success, like is the new normal.
Yes. Yeah.
There's so much good stuff there to unpack, and I think what really stood out to me is that those core ingredients, those fundamentals of, like, when you're a small, scrappy startup, like, that doesn't change even as you're scaling, and it almost, like, kinda comes full circle, like, this idea of, like, small startup, support team, everyone's doing everything, like, yeah, you're growing, but, like, I'm still hearing from you, it's like, "Hey, we have to find these different ways to get people involved," or, like, things like training and education, like, again, like, that there's this constant through line through it, and yeah, I think it's just like it's really, really good practical advice. Looking ahead, what are the biggest opportunities for support leaders to elevate their customer experience? What trends or innovations are you most excited about in the coming years?
I would say for support leaders, one thing that remains at the very core in order for us to provide great customer experience is our team's productivity, right? So we need to make sure that we enable our team to be productive, and there's many ways to do that that we already discussed. So modernizing our tool stack, just providing them with good support, upskilling, and all those good things. Also, another thing for us in support is to be that voice of the customer. So support is sitting on a lot of data. Yes. So we produce data. So I will say, I always mention that there are some companies that make their living just mining data. We have so much data in that I think we need to use it to be that advocate for the customer and also for our team members. So what can we, gather from that intelligence? Is it like, how can we make that the life of our customers easier, or what does the experience better? And for our team also, what are the gaps and things that we can do for our team to be more productive? So the trends that I'm excited about, as I was mentioning, AI, we are using it, but it's just we are scratching the surface. We want to go ahead and sentiment analysis is something that's been in the market for a long time, but we would like to experience that as well. Also, another thing is like AI power, like customization. So add more context, customer context into the tickets, right? That can be easily leveraged by our team. So another thing that I was thinking of is like CSAT, we use it, you know, to drive or to understand that customer experience. But as it stands today, only, a fraction of our customers provide us with CSAT. How can we use, AI to have a CSAT for all our tickets, to have, better understanding? We have this AI summary, but doesn't really tell us, the CSAT. So how can we leverage AI for this CSAT? Because we rely so heavily on CSAT to understand our customer experience. Yes, and also another thing that with AI are new roles within the team.
What new roles?
Yeah, so for instance, now that we have Ask Ilma AI, so how can we have a person that instead of taking just tickets, can it be maybe a hybrid, taking tickets, but also being responsible for this very productive Ask Ilma, right? So how can we make sure that Ask Ilma is also being upskilled like another, team member? So how can we provide Ask Ilma with everything she needs? Another thing that I've been learning is like the way that we write knowledge-based articles needs to also evolve as AI utilizes that knowledge, right? So we can need to be very intentional because there may be some things that are called the same thing in different parts of the product. So making sure that either provide that feedback to products, maybe call it differently, or maybe we just make sure that, we write our articles in a way that is easy for Askilma to know what the right answer is.
No, and like all of those things are such perfect use cases for for different AI technology, like combing through large swaths of data, looking through all of this different text, something like AI generated CSAT and having this go across all of your conversation or tickets. Like that's when the product features we've been using. And not only is it super valuable to like be able to have the full view of like what's the customer experience, but like we've been able to like leave behind the whole conversation of like, well, are we sending the survey at the right time? And like, what's the phrasing of this? And we still do that, right? Like we still want that direct customer feedback, but to not have to kind of worry about the dials and gamesmanship of like survey response rates and all of that. And instead be like, how are we doing? We see it across 100% of everything. Is the trends going up or down? Like, again, this is that whole new, this is that new future that we're all going into. So yeah, super cool.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining me today, Margarita. It was such a pleasure having you on the podcast. Look forward to having you back again soon.
Thank you, Bobby. Yes, I really enjoy our conversations. I'm looking forward to the next one.